A nun's torment unveiling Sancta Susanna. We dig into the work of a great choreographer, Florentina Holzinger. The year was 1921. Paul Hindemith, a young German composer, unleashed his one-act opera, Sancta Susanna. It was a scandal. The opera dove into the forbidden desires of a young nun, Susanna. She was trapped within the suffocating walls of her convent. Her longing for worldly pleasures, for the touch of a man, became an obsession. The opera dared to depict the repression of women in the church. It did not shy away from the consequences of such stifling control. Over a century later, Sancta Susanna is reborn. This time, it's Sancta, a radical feminist reimagining. The setting? Stuttgart's State Opera. At the helm is Florentina Holzinger, an avant-garde choreographer known for her shocking and visceral work. With Sancta, Holzinger takes Hindemith's controversial opera and injects it with a potent dose of 21st century feminist rage. This is not your grandmother's opera. This is opera as a weapon, a battering ram against societal norms and expectations. Sancta is an assault on the senses, a plunge into the darkest recesses of desire and despair. The audience is not merely an observer, they are participants in this unholy ritual, and some, it seems, are not ready for the experience. Reports have surfaced of audience members experiencing extreme nausea, fainting spells, and even panic attacks during the performance. The faint of heart, be warned. Sancta is not for you. This is opera for a new generation, unafraid to confront the ugliness and the beauty of the human experience in all its raw, untamed glory. Naked bodies and roller skates, a sensory onslaught. Sancta is not a passive experience, it's a full-blown assault on the senses, a chaotic whirlwind of images and sounds designed to shock and provoke. Imagine a stage transformed. Gone are the velvet curtains and gilded balconies. In their place, a pulsating, visceral landscape. Naked nuns, their bodies painted with religious iconography, glide across the stage on roller skates. A half-pipe looms large, a symbol of rebellion and defiance. The air crackles with the sounds of heavy breathing, moans of ecstasy and agony. A projection flickers to life. Crucified bodies, naked and bleeding. Their pain impossible to ignore. Live piercings. The sharp sting of metal piercing flesh punctuate the performance. Crucifixes are swallowed, a sacrilegious act that blurs the lines between reverence and revulsion. And then there's the sex. Unsimulated, raw, and unapologetic. Holzinger holds nothing back, forcing her audience to confront their own discomfort, their own preconceived notions of what is acceptable to show on stage. A woman dressed as the Pope is spun wildly by a robotic arm. Her size, her dwarfism, only amplifies the grotesqueness of the image. Later, another woman, this one draped in white robes and a crown of thorns, belts out Eminem lyrics. Is it Jesus? Is it blasphemy? Holzinger seems to revel in the ambiguity, forcing her audience to question everything they thought they knew. Sancta is not a performance you simply watch. It's an experience that gets under your skin, burrows into your subconscious, and refuses to let go. Outrage and acclaim reactions to Sancta. The Catholic Church is not pleased. Archbishop Franz Lachner of Salzburg, a powerful voice within the Church, has denounced Sancta as a deeply offensive attack on the faith. He accuses Holzinger of exploiting religious imagery for cheap thrills, of trivializing sacred beliefs. But critics, particularly those who champion feminist and avant-garde art, have been enthralled. They praise Holzinger's boldness, her willingness to challenge the status quo and give voice to the voiceless. Sancta, they argue, is not blasphemy, but rather a reclamation of female sexuality and power within a historically oppressive institution. The public, as always, is divided. Some are disgusted, calling for the opera to be shut down, labeling it as obscene and sacrilegious. Others are captivated, praising its rawness and its unflinching examination of female desire. Online forums buzz with heated debates. Protests have erupted outside the opera house, signs held high proclaiming Sancta as an abomination. Love it or hate it, Sancta has sparked a conversation, a much-needed dialogue about the role of women in the church, the boundaries of art, and the limits of free expression. Sold out and sickened, the price of provocation. Every single performance of Sancta is sold out. People are clamoring for tickets, eager to witness the spectacle, to be shocked, to be offended, to feel something, anything in our increasingly sanitized and predictable world. Yet the opera's intensity is not without consequences. Reports have emerged of audience members fainting, vomiting, and suffering panic attacks during the performance. The Opera House has been forced to hire additional medical staff to handle the unusual number of medical emergencies. Some blame the graphic content, the nudity, the violence, the sex. Others point to the psychological impact of Holzinger's work, the way it forces viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves and the society they inhabit. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. Sancta is not for the faint of heart. It is a visceral, unsettling, and unforgettable experience that will stay with you long after the curtain falls. And in a world saturated with mediocrity and conformity, perhaps that's exactly what we need. Florentina Holzinger, the woman behind the scandal. Florentina Holzinger doesn't shy away from controversy. She embraces it. This Austrian-born choreographer has made a name for herself by creating work that is as beautiful as it is disturbing. Her performances are a potent cocktail of dance, performance art, and physical theater, often pushing the boundaries of what is considered acceptable on stage. Holzinger's fascination with the body, its capabilities and limitations, is evident in all her work. She is interested in exploring the extremes of human experience, the points where pleasure and pain, beauty and grotesqueness collide. Her work is not for everyone. It is challenging, confrontational, and often deeply unsettling. But it is also impossible to ignore. With Sancta, Holzinger has created her most controversial work yet. She dives headfirst into the murky waters of religious iconography, female sexuality, and the power dynamics that have shaped our world. She does not offer easy answers or simple solutions. Instead, she presents us with a mirror, forcing us to confront our own biases, our own preconceived notions, and our own deeply held beliefs. Florentina Holzinger is not afraid to make you uncomfortable. In fact, she thrives on it. Because in that discomfort, in that space where our carefully constructed realities begin to crumble, she believes lies the potential for true transformation. The Power of Discomfort, Sancta and the Art of Transgression. Sancta is not just an opera. It's a cultural phenomenon, a lightning rod for controversy, a testament to the enduring power of art to provoke, to challenge, and to transform. It is a reminder that true art rarely seeks to comfort or reassure. Often, its purpose is to disrupt, to unsettle, to force us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world around us. In a world increasingly obsessed with safety and political correctness, Sancta is a bold act of defiance. It refuses to be silenced, refuses to be censored, refuses to conform to societal expectations. It is a scream of rage, a howl of frustration, a celebration of female sexuality and power in the face of centuries of oppression. Sancta is not a performance you simply watch and forget. It is an experience that seeps into your pores, that lingers in your mind long after the final curtain falls. It is a reminder that art, at its best, has the power to shake us to our core, to challenge our deeply held beliefs, and to leave us forever changed. And in today's world, perhaps that is the most subversive act of all. Thank you for tuning in and listening. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel as we bring you great analysis and information on the trend mill, the viral loop writer.